There's been some great concerns among trained midwives and nurses on rotation. They're complaining that apparently since they were posted from July or December, they have not been paid their stipends or allowances. So they have two types of them. So we want to also have an interaction with them as well, and also speak to the Ghana Health Service or the Ministry of Health to get some great insight to all that. Alongside, we'll also talk about a bulk of teachers in our country who apparently are supposed to have been promoted but have not had that made officially. It also means that because that has not been officially made, they are not getting the type of remuneration that should be attached. So we'll speak to the Ghana National Association of Teachers, but also the Informed Teachers Network, one of the lead advocacy groups among teachers in the country. In the meantime, let me just introduce our guest. I have Jasper Joka. He is the national president for the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association. Good morning to you, Jasper.
Good morning, sir.
And then also the great man here, George Donu Dubate.
Yes, sir.
And you're also an executive. You're president for the Greater Accra branch or chapter of the association. And then joining us on stream is the head of public relations for the Ministry of Health, and Isaac Ofeba is also joining us. Good morning to you, Mr. Isaac Ofeba. Can you hear me clearly? Well, if we don't get him on stream, we'll call him. I think it's the most appropriate thing to do. But Jasper, what
Yes,
really
sir.
is the difficulty with you? You call yourself Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association.
Yes, sir.
And what's the bulk of you? What's the difficulty that you're facing currently?
Thank you. So when we say Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association, we are nurses who have completed successfully our training for 3 years or 4 years in our training institutions. And so we have been posted by the National Service and also as well the MOH. But then there's a difference here. Some of us in the profession or the training sector or in the rotation, those who happen to be the degree nurses and midwives are being paid by the NSS, that's the National Service. But then most of us that are the public trained, we are being paid by the finance through the MOH. And so we've been working for the past 6 to 7 months now. We've not received any notification from the government through MOH with regards to our payment. And as we speak now, most of our people are really struggling. They are really crying across the country. On a daily basis, I do receive a lot of calls from northern region, upper west, and every part of the country. You know, it's really hard that in times like this that people will be working for months without payment. Mr. Roland, you agree with us that it is really a challenge. We are just young people who are doing our service and we don't have any other source of income. So just imagine someone who is about 30, 32 years, the parent can no more afford to be taking care of a grown-up person who have completed and should be working to be feeding the house rather, or maybe giving something to the parents instead of rather always taking something from the parents in the name of rotation. And so some of us also as well have been posted very far from our various families and regions where we come from, where we have relatives. And so someone, let's say, has been posted from the central region straight to the Aflao, the Volta region of Ghana. And so you could see that rent issues, where money will come from, how to feed yourself. And sometimes where you even get the accommodation is really far from the facility you've been posted to. So it is really a challenge, and to feed yourself on a daily basis. I myself am a living testimony that sometimes where I'm working now, I have to walk from home to work, let's say 20, 25 minutes. And when I go, I don't have to eat, because when I eat, there's no money to when I come back, how to feed myself again. So I work, then I get home to eat once, then I sleep. It is by the grace of one of my friends that he bought a bicycle for me to be using as a national president. So early morning, I get on my bicycle, then I go. But not everybody is privileged to have that.
You mean having the bicycle is a privilege?
Yes, a privilege.
In your circumstance?
In my circumstance, because we are really struggling. We know some people who are really working, they are Tema, and they are now coming to reach to work, you know. In and out, they spend about 40 cedis in and out a week, and a month. Where's the money coming from? So this is our plea.
Okay, you're based in Accra. Which facility are you?
I'm in Pentecost Hospital, Medina Estate.
Oh yeah, I know that. That's Alpha.
That's Alpha.
That's Alpha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they are now called Pentecost
Hospital.
Okay, that's
Yes,
great.
sir.
And I do know that Alpha, the way it's located, or the Pentecost Hospital, is just at the corner there from UPSA. Then you have to go.
Exactly.
That's a very far place. So supposing, let's say, you live at Abokobi.
As if you know, I live actually at Pantine Hospital.
Allah illallah.
Yes,
you are in a bad place.
Very, very bad.
I mean,
place.
not that the area is bad, but in terms of how you find yourself.
Yes,
in
the
this
location is really tight. So moving from Pantine Hospital to Pentecost Hospital, Medina Estate is actually a challenge because I mean it's even far. And then to pass through those, I come by a bicycle, and you can imagine closing from a night shift that you are going home, and a hungry person who is even tired, stressed up on duty. I mean, it's really a challenge. Yes. So I think this is about time that some of these things are attended to as early as possible, because we've seen the challenges that our seniors have gone through, and then some of them in the house now, actually the December budget have still not received their allowance, completing a whole 12 months that you've not received your allowance. So we saw this, that, I mean, this is something that is getting closer to us, that, I mean, action needs to be taken as soon as possible so that we will also be relieved, else we will go there and struggle. And just as Florence Nightingale said, that we have to put the patients in an environment so that the environment will act on the patient to have that healing that the patient needed. We think that we are also part of the environment, and if we are also coming with transference from our various homes, such as, I mean, not having money to board cars to our facilities, this is going to be a very big challenge for us, and we are going to end up, I mean, having an attitude for our patients, which the Code of Ethics doesn't.
So you're saying that just doesn't put you in the right psychological mood in doing the treatment at the facilities.
Yes.
Now, Jasper, how much is supposed to be the payment?
The payment is supposed to be 850 cedis for the diploma.
Okay, so if you're a diploma holder,
yes,
and you're supposed to be on rotation,
yes,
then you're supposed to take 800 Ghana cedis. 850
cedis
for diploma holders.
Yes, and that's not private diploma nurses, but that is the public. Okay, the public training, those who have been publicly trained. But then those who are private trained and private degree nurses, also degree nurses as well, they receive 599.
Okay, yes. So the 599, is it not the same that the National Service Scheme people?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So it's a service you're also undertaking?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you are all doing rotation?
Yes.
That is also equated to National Service?
Yes, exactly.
But we have those under the Ministry of Health?
Yes.
And then those under the National Service Scheme?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Does it mean that you have colleagues who haven't or maybe have been paid? Because I'm told that there are some who might have received some, or none of them at all.
No, this is a national problem. We wouldn't affirm or confirm to anyone that anybody has been paid from our batch.
Because so far, that's it. And your batch is the
July batch.
The July batch, yes, of 2022. So since July, you haven't been paid anything.
You haven't been paid.
And that's almost like 6 months. We're entering the 7th month.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Have you been able to address some of these issues to your sectional heads? And what have they been saying?
Yes, so, you know, this association is not on its own. We are not on our own. We are under the leadership of the GRNMA. And so yesterday we dropped a letter to them, to start pleading for us. As well, we were also at the MOH in November 2022, that is 11th November. We went to the Labour Division and we spoke about it. We just raised about it, and they assured us that currently, at the time, the clearance for the December batch, that our seniors who were the December batch, has come. So they are focusing on them. And so they are assuring us that immediately they are done with them, we will hear from them.
Okay. Right. How many people, or how many of these students or your colleagues are captured in this quagmire?
Okay. So for the July batch, so NSS has released for about 10,795 of rotational nurses in July. That is for the first batch that's currently practicing. And then for that of the December batch who have started January, yes, that is our referral batch, there were about 3,000 of them that,
Okay, so
that have
so
started.
in all, in excess of 13,000.
13,000 rotational nurses and
That's
midwives.
so then the Ministry of Health then is just going to be 3,000 in excess.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now let me just get onto the stream, and then speak to the public relations head for the Ministry of Health. We're talking about Mr. Ban, and Mr. Isaac Ban is joining me on stream. Good morning to you, Mr. Ban.
Good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers.
Great. We're also grateful that you found the opportunity to be able to join us to at least explain issues. What really is the difficulty that the ministry is facing in relation to this, for which you're preferring some solutions?
All right. The issue has to do with our carers, like they rightly said. And first and foremost, I would want to assure them that the ministry or the Honorable Minister, Honorable Kwaku Ajimanmeno, is not resting on issues like this at all. One, they filled their IPPD forms. Then we submit all of that to the Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance will then give us the clearance so that we'll be able to pay the money to them. Somewhere along the line, you know, we have a policy that those with a degree nurses are supposed to be on the National Service Scheme. And then those with a diploma nursing are supposed to be with the Ministry of Health. And so there was a miscalculation gap, and some of them are not willing to accept the National Service conditions. Most of them are not willing to accept the National Service conditions. I personally have met them on several occasions. The management have also met some of them on several occasions, especially the outgone executives. And so the ministry stance is that we are going to pay those that will receive their IPPD form. Most of them, as we speak now, we've not received their IPPD form. But those that we have received, I can assure you that those people are going to receive their money as soon as possible, especially those that have completed for the 1 year. Now, those that are currently doing their service, for them, we are still expecting them to submit their IPPD forms. It's not all of them that have done that. And so I would plead with the leadership of their union to educate their members to make sure that when we ask for the IPPD form, all of them are strictly guarded, and then we get them. Sometimes we have the challenge of we getting for a particular region or a particular district, and then the other people are not ready to submit DS so that we'll be able to put all of them together. And so as we wait for a particular batch, sometimes all of these amount to some of these delays that come along. You can't go and then tomorrow another batch will come with about 7, 8, then you send it. Then another batch will come about 20, 30, you send it. So now that the leadership have taken it upon themselves, at our last meeting, we tasked them to educate their members. So when it's time for filling of these IPPD forms, it is done together. We collate all of them together. So it doesn't come in pieces, and then we'll be able to send them to Ministry of Finance for a strict commencement of their payment.
That's in how many years' time?
Oh, I can assure you that the current situation that we find ourselves now, those that have completed will be paid as soon as possible. We have submitted their clearance, we have submitted their forms. We got the clearance from the Ministry of Finance. We have submitted the IPPD forms, and all we are expecting is for Ministry of Finance to release funds for them to be paid. And so as soon as possible, those will be paid. Those that are currently doing their service, we are collating their IPPD forms. And that depends on when they will be able to finish the filling of their form. But at the last meeting that we had with them, I am sure by the end of this month or middle of next month, we'll be able to gather all and transmit them straightly to the Ministry of Finance. And I want to also say one thing, that our Ministry of Health depends solely on clearance and approvals of the Ministry of Finance. Until that is done, we will be unable to make effect payments to our nurses, especially their situation in which they find themselves. We have differences between the We have the difference between the National Service Platform and then the Ministry of Health platform. And so most of them are uncomfortable being on the National Service Scheme. They really want to be on the Ministry of Health scheme. And that is also another challenge. Those that are qualified to be on the National Service Scheme are supposed to be on the National Service Scheme. Those that are qualified to be on the Ministry of Health scheme are supposed to be on the Ministry of Health scheme. And so you see these sortings that also come in, and it's also contribute to some of these delays that we are engaging today.
Mr. Ban, I see that the way you talk, you empathize with them.
Yes, I do. I do.
Now,
I have engaged them on several occasions, especially the outgoing leadership, and I've sat in most of their meetings. And they know that the ministry have done a lot.
Okay.
They know what the ministry have done to see to it that they are paid.
Okay.
They are aware that the ministry have done a lot that these monies will be released to them. And I must also say that the Honorable Minister himself is particular about some of these issues. At the last meeting, it was like, if my children are suffering like this, how am I going to be happy? So kindly make sure that these things are done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And you can see that the ministry is up with the Ministry of Finance to see to it that they treat execution of this payment.
Gentlemen in the studio who are representing the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association, they give me the numbers. Service scheme in excess of 10,000. The Ministry of Health role in excess of 3,000. Overall, before the 2022 period they're talking about, how many generally of these rotational nurses who have finished their rotation, and then subsequently those who are supposed to be posted haven't been posted in total? Because now we have 13,000, and then the other backlog, how many do you have in your records at the Ministry of Health?
As we speak now, I can't give you that record offhand because we have the private institutions, nurses also as well. And so putting all of them together, we put them in the same bracket.
Okay.
And so we have them in batches on a yearly basis. That the year by which you are able to.
Yeah.
So I'm
just asking, what's the backlog now?
Hopefully, I may not be able to give you that offhand.
Okay.
But I hope to cross-check and get back to you.
Yeah. I don't want to put you in between a rock and a hard place, but
yes, please.
The reality is that we're having difficulties with wages nationally, and I'm sure that the minister has spoken lengthily about how sometimes it is difficult to get the financial clearance and all that. But on the other hand, also these your younger brothers and sisters are also in this difficulty. You're not the minister, so some of the questions maybe you may not be able to respond. But as a ministry, when do you think this could be resolved? Because they are suffering. For example, the president of the Greater Accra region, who is currently in the studio, would have to trek. However, he has to trek from the Pantine area. And Pantine area is the Abokobi Road, Pantine Abokobi, and then come to the Pentecost Hospital, which is inside Medina, just behind IPS or on the Action School Road. That is a far place. So, I mean, just as a brother, but also as a public servant and as a general oversight ministry, when do you think this could see some fruition?
Yeah, I can give them the assurance that as we speak now, the director HR is on his way to the Ministry of Finance on this particular issue. As we speak now. And based on the previous meetings we had with them, we can boldly say that by the end of February, they should be seeing some improvement or some payment in the account. By the end of February, we should be seeing some payment in the account. Because we have gone far with what the ministry is supposed to do. We have submitted everything to the Ministry of Finance. And the Ministry of Finance has also done the same. But until Ministry of Finance gives us the go-ahead,
there's nothing you can do.
There is nothing we can do. They're giving the clearance all right. Whatever form we are supposed to call it, we are able to do that. Whatever we are supposed to push, we've pushed. Okay. Now we are waiting for them to respond.
All right.
That is why this morning the director HR is there to find out exactly what is going on.
Yeah. You're a PRO, so you're a PRO. By your training, you talk sharp, sweet. So I understand you.
My brother, the issue is that I've met them, and they know that what I'm saying is We've engaged them on several occasions.
No,
they come to me.
They don't know that the finance ministry is delaying. That one they don't know, please. So let's not be hard on ourselves. But the reality is that these are younger brothers and sisters, and they need this help. Now, if they were your siblings,
yes,
or your children,
yes,
and they were like this,
how
would you feel?
Siblings.
Huh?
They are my siblings.
Okay. So if they were your siblings or your children and they haven't been posted, how would you feel?
I will feel bad. I'll feel bad after going through this training and all that. But the situation, like I said, is not within the remits of the Ministry of Health. We depend on clearance that comes from the Ministry of Finance. And until that is done, it's extremely not going to be possible for Ministry of Health to say that we are recruiting the nurses.
Okay.
Now you recruit them, and then the next month they come back to demand their salaries. And how are you going to process that when you've not had the clearance from the Ministry of Finance?
Hey. So when should we call you again to see whether there's any progress?
Let's give ourselves next week, and I'll be able to update you on exactly what has gone on so far.
Hey, Mr. Banhofe, you know we will call.
No, I'll be on standby, and let me say that they know that we've been doing much for them. They know that we are doing much, and we will continue to do much for them.
Right.
And like I said earlier, the Honorable Minister himself is involved in these discussions, and he will make sure that they get their money in their various accounts.
Right. Well, that's Mr. Isaac Ofeba. He's a public relations boss or head of the public relations unit for the Ministry of Health. But it's also because we have a number of registered midwives and nurses who are on rotation. They haven't been paid. Apparently, also since 2019, decided to form an association. First time that we have rotational nurses forming an association. And it's all because since they were posted for service or rotation, as we'll call it, they haven't been paid. For those who are on national service, they are paid the usual national service scheme allowance, and that's 595, I believe. Okay. And then they are supposed to be paid 850. That is those 3,000 in excess on the roll of the Ministry of Health. Well, Mr. Ban, that'll be it for the morning. Thank you very much. But on the sidelines of this, students and generally workers, nurses, teachers are also involved. Apparently, we have thousands, if not hundreds, of teachers scattered across the country who are supposed to be given promotion. The promotions have been undertaken, but it hasn't been officialized, meaning that because it hasn't been officialized, they will not be put on their new positions or promotions, and then they will have to be getting the emoluments or the payment that they need. I do have joining us on phone the founder and lead educator for the Informed Teachers Network. It's an advocacy group, and then also a lead group within the teaching fraternity. And Jerry Poho, Mr. Jerry Poho is joining us on phone. Good morning to you, Mr. Poho. Mr. Poho, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I do understand that we have hundreds of teachers. I'm talking hundreds. I don't know what of teachers across many areas, Volta, OT, Ashanti, etc., across the country generally, who are supposed to be promoted and subsequently the promotion officialized. Tell me about it. How many are they, and how is that a problem?
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am happy that I have this opportunity to discuss this issue with you, but I am not happy as a teacher.
Why?
First of all, let me state that the name is not Poho. The name is Akpoho, Jerry.
Akpoho. I apologize, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. In Ghana Education Service, we have conditions of service, which includes a scheme of service, meaning there are ranks that we have to achieve as we are in the occupation. Since 2015, those who were employed, there has been issues with regards to lower rank promotion. When you come out from college, with diploma in basic education, you are supposed to be placed on a rank for senior sup 2. After 4 years, you are entitled to be promoted to senior sup 1, which comes with increment in remuneration. But it will surprise you to note that GES and Ministry of Education has been short-changing us ever since. Good, I'll tell you. Those who were due for promotion in 2015, those who were employed in 2015 were due for promotion in 2019. They were not promoted. After agitation, they were asked to submit certain documents and do certain things, just gymnastics. Then some people were given letters that you have been promoted. These promotions are supposed to come with salary increment, but this is not reflecting in the salaries. Later, some people's won't reflect in the salary without arrears being paid. As we speak now, those people are still far behind.
I see.
With the letters in hand, but no salary increment. Those who were employed in 2016, who were due for promotion in 2020, they were promoted in 2022. That is 2 years ahead. And there is no letter backing the promotions that they are having. And it is only some few of them that were promoted. So that is how come we have hundreds of teachers left behind, not promoted. So they have now introduced what they call notional date and substantive date.
Okay.
The notional date is that you have joined the service in 2015 and you are qualified after 4 years, which will be 2019. That is your notional date. You have a notion that you should be promoted at that date. But since the government or GES hasn't promoted you at that time, they will now promote you in 2022 and call it substantive date, which is a total cheat. And it is not motivating us as young teachers who are coming to the service. That is why most teachers now go to school and the work is dead in them. This is our plight.
Okay. Now, the teachers, are they across the country or they are just in certain regions?
You know, when we come out from college, they post us everywhere where our services are needed.
Okay.
So we are started all over the country.
Wow. How is this situation raising agitations or concerns among teachers and even demotivating them and subsequently affecting teaching and learning in the classroom?
Okay, as the lead educator of Informed Teachers Network, an education advocacy group, my inbox is full of messages from my colleagues who are asking, Jerry, how far are our promotions coming? When are they coming? And sometimes when there are CPD opportunities where we have to learn and, upgrade our skills, update our skills to be more efficient in the job, you will see teachers falling back because they feel not treated well. So if you don't treat me well, my salary has been shortchanged, and you are asking me to go and update myself. How? You see, so it's just demotivating. When a teacher is in school and is given an extra task to do, the teacher now gives an excuse that, no, if you refuse to promote me after 4 years of work, why should I be taking on extra tasks? So this is not helping the education sector. This is not helping the teachers. This is not helping anybody. The students are the reason here.
All right. We also do know that there are a number of issues that are involving teachers as well. And this is because I've gotten information from a number of your colleagues that there are some arrears that were owed teachers 2014, 2015. They've not been paid. Is that true?
As for the arrears, don't even talk about it. There are a lot of us whose arrears haven't been paid. When, especially with the 3-month pay policy. When we complain to our teacher unions, who we pay dues to seek our welfare, They only pretend to be solving the problems. When they realize our agitations are getting to the point where we will vote against them, they will write a sweet letter to GES and Ministry of Education seeking that, oh, our teachers are looking for what. Then it ends there. The next thing we see is that GES will also write back to them promising that, oh, they are working on it. And then they go back to sleep until we raise agitations again. So aside the promotion issues, our arrears are still there, lying. The 3-month pay policy.
Wow.
It hasn't ended. It's still there.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Jerry Akpoho.
Akpoho. Yes.
Akpoho.
Now you got it right.
Thank you very much for giving me a thumbs up for pronouncing your name well. And he is a founder and lead advocate. We're talking about the Informed Teachers Network, but we'll open the phone lines, and this one's strictly to those in the profession of nurses and teachers who are on rotation, and teachers who were expecting promotion or have been promoted, but the promotion hasn't been officialized or effected. Please, we're putting the phone lines there. We'll try and speak to the Ghana National Association of Teachers to see how they are resolving the issues for these teachers as well. And please, the phone lines are on the screen, 030, we're talking about 2973198. And teachers, and then also nurses on rotation. But Jasper, so it means that you've heard from the Ministry of Health. What are the solutions now for you? You just...
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Is it a response you're used to?
It's a response we are used to, actually. But then yesterday, we were at the office of the Greater Accra Regional Chairperson for the GRNMA. And so he assured us, he made a call to the HR office. And so we were assured, as usual, that they will take it up and that our clearances are not in yet. And so we would heed to what he has said, that they will work on it. We should give him end of the week, or maybe next week. We'll be expecting a good news from him as well. And so that one is a usual. But then with the IPPD forms, I think that was strictly for the December batch. They are actually doing that at the moment.
Okay. Please just wait for me. I have from Obuase, we have Amasewa. Amasewa, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you a teacher?
Yeah, a teacher.
Are you also falling in this category? And then what are your main concerns?
Yeah, like what I want to say is, apart from the promotion, we are also a victim of upgrading issues. We have upgrading issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We completed our secondary at we upgraded. Yeah, that was in 2021. And still we haven't seen any results. We haven't heard anything from GS. So we are still, after spending a lot of money in upgrading, we haven't heard anything from them.
Okay. If you say upgrading means that you went for higher education, and so you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So after completing the basic school, we also further up. So after the furthering of the education, that's the upgrading. And then we are still not heard anything from them.
Okay. So what's the routine? Do you apply to the GES to make sure that that incorporation is done?
Yeah, we've made any arrangements. We've processed our documents and other stuff. But for them to give us the feedback or upgrade us, that has been the challenge that we are facing now.
All right, we'll try and get to the Ghana Education Service and get the latest feedback on it from tomorrow on this subject. Please, thank you very much, Amasewa. And Amasewa is a teacher calling us from Obuasi. If you're also a nurse, just in case you're involved in this difficulty as a rotational nurse or as a rotational midwife as well, you haven't received your allowances. We have the association that is of rotational midwives and then also nurses. They're all here. So that is the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association, as they're called with the acronym RNWA. Rashida.
Yes.
Your name is Rashida, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Achim Odan.
Achim Odan. Hello? Okay, we seem to have lost her as well. And so we have a number of nurses who are on rotation, or midwives as well. They've been posted December, some July 2022. They haven't received their allowances. Then we have teachers also who want to upgrade. They've done the applications, they haven't gotten the upgrade. And those who have been promoted, but the promotion hasn't been officialized or effected. So we're just looking into their issues as well. But Mr. Dubate, so
Yes,
at this point in time, the ministry says that you have to wait, but what sort of engagement then do you have to do with your rank and file in terms of your membership?
Okay,
Well,
so
we have Kwame. Kwame, that's why we're here, right? No. Kwame, where are you calling us from, Kwame? You're a nurse?
Yeah, I'm a nurse. I'm calling you from Western Region, Dabuasi. I'm actually working at Ahmadiyya Hospital. Yeah.
Ahmadiyya Hospital. Are you on rotation as well?
Yeah, I'm a rotational nurse.
And you also haven't received your salary. Tell me your story, please.
Yeah. They posted me here. I had to hire a new home, a new house with my own money. I take transportation to work for 6 months. Where am I getting the money from? Where am I? What is putting food on my table? You see, we are going through a lot, and I think the government don't care about us. How would we have a sound mind to take care of people who come to hospital and feel sick or are sick? How are we going to take care of them? It is very sad. For 6 months, we've not even had one peso from the government. We are really suffering. It's really serious. Okay,
Kwame, which of the categories do you fall under? National Service or you're with the Ministry of Health?
You see, we are at the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
But we are being posted by the National Service. So it's like the Ministry of Health are the people who are going to pay us.
Okay. You're posted by the National Service scheme?
Yes.
But it's the
Ministry of Health.
But it's the Ministry of Health that will pay you?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Is that how it works, Mr. Dubate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how much are you entitled to monthly?
I think 799. I think 850. Yeah, and tax. They will deduct the tax, and I think it will be 799 or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And so far you haven't received it since June.
We haven't received anything. How are we eating? How are we paying our light bills, our water bills, our house rent, and all those things?
Okay, so Kwame,
we have been protected away from our family.
Kwame, how are you managing then, since you're lamenting this problem?
So sometimes from our parents or sometimes our colleagues who are already staff, they help us with maybe some 100 cedis and all those things. And if your hospital do care about you, sometimes they give you 100 cedis monthly for you to for transportation or something like that. And it's not reaching anywhere. Anywhere. You cannot, how can you pay your light bills, your water bills with just 100 cedis? That's very sad. That is very sad.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Dabuase, the Dabuase-based rotational nurse, Kwame, speaking to us. You can understand many of them don't want to give us their full name because sometimes there are fears of being victimized. So that's also part of the difficulty. But again, the phone lines are open. We'll try and reach the Ghana National Association of Teachers to see what kind of advocacy they're doing for the teachers who need the promotion officialized. 030-2973-198. But Dubate, so yes, what are you going to tell your membership now?
So I think what we should all know is that, the usual assurance has been given onto us, and we don't believe, this leadership don't believe in hitting the streets and then making all form of demonstrations. So we just stay calm for this short while waiting for their movements. Yes, they have assured us that in no time they will hear from them, we'll start filling the forms, and then they can proceed with what we have. So I think they should help us by making it as soon as possible so that everybody will see that there is a work going on in the system, because we really need a sound mind to work. I'm a mental health nurse, and it's a lot of things that goes on with people. People can even go to a lot of depression and other psychotic stress which
All
will
right.
be as a result of this. Yes. So I
Okay,
think
let's go to Kintampo, where we have Ernest. Please, what's your name?
I'm Asmidu Abdul Jalil.
Please take your time. What did you say?
I said I'm Asmidu Abdul Jalil.
Asmidu Abdul Jalil.
Yes, please.
Okay. And you're nurse with which of the facilities?
Jima District Hospital.
Okay, so and are you part of the rotational nurses, or you have other issues within the profession?
Yes, please, Mr. Roland. I'm a rotational nurse.
So tell me your story, please.
Our issue here is just as our senior men are saying over there. But the issue we have here, we went to the HR. And what the issue she is saying is our previous seniors who have completed have not gotten yes. So they can't do anything unless they are cleared from the system before. So that's our issue. We are urging the ministry vehemently to actually come to our aid. We are suffering here, working for, let's say, this is the 7th month we are, and then we are not getting anything, to cater for ourselves as we do. You go and you'll be demoralized, the work, you can't do it well. So they should do something and then, give us some vim and then morale to, actually put out our best as we are in the profession together, That's my concern.
So how do you manage to go to the hospital, to and fro the hospital from where you live, etc.? How is the daily difficulty for you? Just take me through.
We actually suffer. We walk. In this place, we actually walk from where we stay to the hospital. That's basically the means. And then if you also want to take this yellow something, you have to pay 2 cedis from town to the hospital each day. And so in and out, you pay 4 cedis every day. We are not being paid, so we are suffering.
Wow.
So they should come to our aid.
Well, thank you very much, Jalil. And Jalil is calling from Kintampo. And you could see that the various locations that people are calling from, whether they're teachers or nurses, also will tell you how widespread nationwide are the difficulties that young nurses and midwives, as well as teachers, find themselves through. And the teachers' issues are that some have upgraded, they haven't been integrated. And then also, we have some of them who have been promoted and that hasn't been made official. And as a result of that, they are not getting the type of payment or emolument or wages that syncing with the promotion. So that's a bit, and then the nurses also, we have rotational nurses. So they're almost like doing service for normal people, for normal students who may have finished school, etc. So they call it rotation. And in the course of doing that rotation, they've been posted, some of them from July last year, and they haven't, July of the other year, they haven't been given remuneration or the allowances. And then those also posted the December of that year as well, and they haven't been given any remuneration as well. So that's the difficulty they find themselves. So Jasper, how do we resolve this? Knowing that you have personal emotional issues that you go through, how do you manage at the hospital?
It's really difficult. It's really difficult. As you speak now, the economy is not friendly. It's not friendly at all. And looking at the money we receive, most of our people and even ourselves have to go and borrow money somewhere to be renting at where we are and also be taking care of our daily activities, And so we would once again plead that if something can be done about increasing a little the money that we are receiving, because this money has been there for some time now, and I think that the value of the currency has been depreciating. Notwithstanding, we want to also address this issue of our past seniors who are still at home. We want to kindly plead that something can be done about that. And there is something also about the halting of the clearance forms. We want to address this one too as well. We will only plead to the ministry and also the minister to kindly consider the release of the clearance form so that some of these people can clear themselves, and as well, if those who want to leave can leave, and you have some space in the country, because already we are aware that there are so many people who are in the houses that the government cannot absorb all of them. Okay. And so if someone wants to leave, and no, go and then work somewhere. And as well, that money will come back to the country.
Okay.
To
So you're
assist
saying
the
currently,
nation.
unless there's that clearance form,
Yes, yes.
and then the approval,
Yes.
even if you want to travel outside, let's say abroad,
Yes.
you cannot do that.
Exactly.
So you're just left in the hole.
Exactly, exactly. So we are
Wow.
pleading that they should kindly consider the release or the opening of the starting of the sales of the clearance fund, because it has been halted. It has been halted. Yes.
Thank you for these interactions, and we hope that we'll find some solutions to the difficulties. We'll get to the Ministry of Education as well and deal with the teachers' issue from tomorrow. But we've been having in the studio Jasper Jokpa.
Yes.
Joka.
Joka.
Hmm?
Joka.
Joka.
Yeah.
Jasper
Joka,
Joka.
yes.
He's the president for the Rotational Nurses and Midwifes Association, and then also the one for the Greater Accra chapter, leading as president, is also, I believe, George. Right?
Yes, sir.
George Donu Dubate.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
So
very much.
we would like to end this way. I've received a lot of messages from our colleagues, the juniors who are still in school.
Yes, sir.
They're also crying for
Yeah.
their allowance.
No, you
Their
mean
allowance.
that those
The
in school,
students,
they haven't been paid?
They've not been paid. They're 399.
Those in colleges?
Yes.
In colleges.
They haven't
Yes.
been paid
Our
their...
juniors.
How long?
Our juniors. I think some of them are 6 months, some are 5 months, you know. So we are pleading.
So they are
We didn't
those
even
in college, the
receive
nurses
all
in
before we
colleges,
finish.
the nurses and
Yes.
midwives in colleges
Yes,
currently.
yes.
Their backlog of 6 months.
Exactly.
Allah
Exactly.
illallah.
We didn't even receive all before completing.
Before
And so
completing.
it's so sad.
Oh,
it's
so you
like
also have a backlog
we
there.
have a backlog, but we are just now.
So from
trusting
the
on
nursing college, from the
Straight.
nurses and midwifery colleges,
to the
you have backlog
Yes,
of
sir.
the allowances.
Yes,
How,
sir.
how much was left? How many
I
months?
think
2 months?
we have like 3 months.
3 months. You haven't been paid, and then you're on rotation.
You're on rotation. Still struggling with it. So it's really a
I wish
pathetic
you know that we are
situation.
going to the IMF, right?
Yes,
Yes,
we are
sir.
aware. That's why we are only
I wish
pleading.
you people
We are
were, but
only
we'll
pleading.
do the advocacy as
Because
much as
that
possible.
that is the source of income
All
for
right.
some of
Okay,
them.
so we'd like to appreciate you and thank you very much for hosting
No, don't
us.
worry, it's
And
part
then-
of our work.
Yes, and then
No appreciation.
Our viewers as well, our colleagues who are also out there and listening to us and also making their comments and contributions so that our voices will be heard out there. We want to
Don't worry, it's part of
appreciate
our
them.
work.
Thank you very
Advocacy
much,
is
sir.
part of the work of the media. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, as well as Mr. Isaac Ofeba, who is the PRO for the Ministry of Health, helping us do the discussions, and many of you teachers and nurses who called to help us have a comprehensive discussion on the subject. But it's where we have to take a break. Just in case you want to get interactive, always add the hashtag TV3 Ghana across our social media platforms, TV3 Ghana, and then TV3 New Day. We're taking a break, we'll be right back.